Now that we've enhanced the image the way we want it, we're ready to add makeup to it. And there's a couple of different ways to apply makeup to your image. One way is just to make a new layer, and then I'm going to change the blending mode of that new layer from normal to color. This is going to enable me to colorize whatever parts of the picture I paint on, but it's not going to change the values of the picture. It's just going to change the color. So if I want to add a different kind of reddish color to her lips, watch, as I paint, the lips are taking on that different color. And because the lips themselves are relatively light, I'm not darkening the lips. I'm just adding, instead of them being so kind of magenta, adding that kind of like orangey, peachy color to them. This is especially useful for cheeks and adding blush. I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to change that blending mode to color. I have a red color selected on my brush, and I'm going to lower my opacity a whole lot. I'm just going to paint on the cheeks a little bit. And so see how we're just adding a little bit of blush. We don't want to go too far. As you can see, it's starting to glow a little bit, but if you do go too far but you like the color, you can just lower the opacity. You can get kind of a nice color there. And let's go over another way to colorize the lips especially. And that is to make a selection to the lips and then use curves, which is an adjustment layer. Now with the curves method, we're going to be able to darken or lighten the lips, which is going to make it pretty cool. Again, I'm holding down the space bar to navigate around my picture, and I'm hitting Command + to zoom in. Now I'm just using my lasso tool to select the lips. Probably not going to get the cleanest selection ever, but that's okay, because as I add this adjustment layer, I'll be able to feather the edge of my selection, and it's going to help blend my colors a little bit more. So now I'm going to make a new layer, a new adjustment layer, this time using the curves adjustment layer. And now watch what happens. As I draw down this line here on this histogram, my lips are going to get darker. Now, I told you that I was going to fix that kind of unclean selection. And I can do that by double-clicking on the layer mask that showed up next to curves with my selection on it. I'm going to feather the edge of my selection. See, as I feather the edge of my selection, the color is now blending in a lot more. Now let's zoom out. Command - to zoom out. It's helpful to see the whole face. Zoom in a little bit. Okay, so let's double click back on curves. Let's see some different results. So I could get this to look really, really dark, which might be a little bit too far. Or it could be nice depending on the look that you're going for. Or I could lighten the lips. Let's go with overall kind of a little bit darker. Now I can go to the different channels, red, green, and blue. If I want the lips to be more red, especially a bright red, I can bring this line up here. If I want it to be more of a darker red, this is actually more of a darker green, because remember, green is the opposite of red. Now if you go to the green channel, the more you drag this down, the more magenta your lips will look. Whereas if you move this upwards, the more green your lips will look. Which makes it look kind of natural, I think. And same with blue. If you want your lips to have a kind of bluish tint to them, you move your curve line up. Downward makes them more yellow. So I want them to have a slight yellow tinge to them, and I want them to be a little bit more red. Just moving these curves lines, seeing what we can get. I have some deep red down here. And then I'm going to go back to my RGB channel, darken it a little bit more overall. There we go. Great. And now let's see the before and after. Before, kind of pale. After, much more vibrant and red. And guess what? You can do the same with the eyes. You can select the eyes, and then you can change the color of your eyes to blue if you want. Alrighty. My last step, I'd like to darken those eyebrows. And I found that often using the overlay blending mode and a dark color, could be either dark brown or black, it's a great way to darken those eyebrows. Pretty nifty, huh? Now let's see the overall before and after. Option click, that was our image at the very beginning. And after with all of our enhancements.